Now let's discuss our feature story of the day. Crypto expert reveals why Bitcoin will rise to $400,000 per coin. Let's break this baby down. Welcome everyone joining the stream. Pump the likes to pump the stream. Greatly appreciate that. February was undoubtedly an amazing month for Bitcoin, and it's not over yet. With the crypto going on a surge of 39%, smashing 64,000, and notably, price history has shown this to be the second most profitable February in the history of Bitcoin and the most profitable February in 11 years. And you already know how dear I hold that number 11 to my heart, family. A lot of good omens here. Indeed, many market players have anticipated the price surge to continue throughout this year as the next Bitcoin halving approaches roughly 50 days out. And according to analysis from trading expert Peter Brandt, the price of Bitcoin can skyrocket to 400,000 per coin after the next halving. Send it. Let me know if you agree with the legendary analysts. Bitcoin halvings, which slashes the mining rewards for miners into two, are known to trigger massive bull runs before and after they're completed. Indeed, the pre-halving bull run seems to have repeated itself as Bitcoin jumped over multiple resistance levels since the beginning of January and is now nearing its all-time high of 69,000, which it reached back in November on the 10th of 2021. Now, Brandt's analysis is majorly based on gains after past halvings as a percentage of gains before halvings. So consequently, the analyst projects that the past price behavior into the future after April's halving is completed. So per his analysis, the Bitcoin current cycle reached its low November 2022 and is now at 75 bars. Now, if the bull trend extends 75 bars after the next halving, a price high of 150,000 is estimated to occur in early October 2025. I believe that would be the fourth quarter, family. Brandt's analysis also pointed out three different scenarios that occurred after the last three halvings. After the first halving in 2012, Bitcoin went on a 5x gain as a percentage of its pre-halving gains. If the same were to happen after the 2024 halving, Bitcoin can reach 275,000 per coin. Send it. Now, similarly, in 2016's halving, saw Bitcoin going on an 8x gain from its pre-halving gains. If Bitcoin were to go on a similar 8x route, it can reach as high as 400,000 per coin. Now, doesn't 420 sound like a sexier target? What are your thoughts before the next market phase? And lastly, 2020's halving produced a modest 2x return from its pre-halving gains. A 2x repeat applied to a Bitcoin price of 50,000 would see us reaching 100,000 at the end of the current market phase. Now, as you know, there's a lot of speculation here. Anything is possible, and there's no guarantees on what can happen with the Bitcoin price action. But here's one thing I do know. We're living in unprecedented times. Previous cycle, when we hit the November 10th all-time high in 2021 and clipped 69,000, there was zero institutional interest. In fact, it didn't even exist. Back in those days, Larry Fink was calling Bitcoin an index of money laundering. Now they have come full circle, flipped around, full 180, and they're embracing it. The banks are embracing it. The central banks want to be able to hold it and not have to use custodians like Coinbase. The ETFs are lit, producing volume that's unprecedented. Bitcoin market cap is about to surpass silver, family. We're at like 1.2 something trillion, and silver is just barely above that. We just surpassed Meta, which is ultimately Facebook, as far as the market cap is concerned. And we start thinking about the total addressable market and how much money and capital truly exists in this world. Bitcoin is still just a pup, a baby, just getting started, kind of like our mascot, Nipsey, in the back, right? A lot of growing up to do. And so just imagine the difference this time with the institutions sucking like an anteater, sucking up the ants. They're sucking up. There's currently only 900 Bitcoin being issued per day from the miners. That's about to get chopped in half to 450. And there's thousands of Bitcoin being sucked up through the ETFs. That doesn't even consider the nation state adoption. I shared news breaking yesterday. Ed Snowden shared that there has been a nation state secretly acquiring Bitcoin, and they're going to be announcing it soon. Which country might this be? What are your thoughts? And what do you think that's going to do to the price action? We also discussed breaking news today. Brazil is going to start offering their population ETF exposure, right? Through BlackRock and other vehicles, etc. Brazil is one of the largest, if not the largest population in South America, hundreds of millions of people, family. Argentina now has Javier Milei at the helm. What if they adopted Bitcoin as legal tender? What if Colombia? What if Panama, Suriname, right? Mexico, Canada, Russia, Iran, frickin' the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia? What if there is a sovereign wealth fund by the name of Qatar, and they really do convert some of their $500 billion sovereign wealth fund into Bitcoin? What about the other ETFs around the world? We discussed Brazil. We discussed the 11 in the United States. What about the one out of Hong Kong coming on the scene? And what about the one in El Salvador? What about nation state adoption in El Salvador? What about Jeff Bezos rubbing elbows with the Giga Chad? Yeah, I mean, what if Zuckerberg and Bezos both become Bitcoin billionaires here sooner than later? What if other countries make big announcements of adopting Bitcoin as a strategic hedge, right? And getting out of gold. What if Bitcoin flips gold as far as the market cap? And as Max predicts, we do hit a $780,000 target. What are your thoughts surrounding all of this? Personally, yeah, we didn't even touch upon BRICS, the de-dollarization of the dollar, right? The dollar is doomed. Bitcoin is the future. There's no comparable asset. There is no second best. It is the greatest hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against deflation. As Kathy Wood says, it's an insurance policy. It's incorruptible. There's a finite limited supply, 21 million. It's unconfiscatable. Therefore, it's priceless. You can't even put a number on Bitcoin because you can't compare it to fiat. We do it just for fun and kicks and giggles at the end of the day. But the bigger picture, one Bitcoin will always be equivalent to one Bitcoin. That was true 15 years ago, and it will be true 150 years from now, family. So stack sats accordingly. Our lifelines, our future generations depend upon it. Because if it's up to the forces of evil or the powers that be, right, we'd all be poor eating bugs, right? And we would be controlled by programmable money called central bank digital currencies with expiration dates so that we can't save, that we're incentivized to spend it or it expires. And that could be attached to a social credit score. So if you're seeking freedom and sovereignty and the antidote to the CBDCs, look no further than BTCs, if you know what I mean. So there you have it, family. Let me know if you resonate with that rant, and let me know your thoughts on where the Bitcoin price will likely be at the cycle peak for this particular cycle. 400,000, yay or nay? Holla at your boy.